Hi, I'm Tony and you're watching Delicious TV's Totally Vegetarian. On today's show, I'm making a creamy, dreamy, and delicious vegan basmati rice pudding. And what I did when I developed this recipe is I just decided to change out and try some different grains, and I thought the basmati worked out the best. So what I've done is I've filled up a pot about this size, about a 3 to 5 quart pot with 1.5 cups of water. I'm going to sprinkle in the rice, and what we're going to do is sort of par cook the rice before we go ahead and put in all our other ingredients. Okay, just give it a stir so that you can combine it with the water and then bring it up to a boil. And then let it simmer just for about 8 or 9 minutes. We don't really want to cook the rice, we just want to get a little bit tender so that it absorbs all these other flavors that we're going to put into it after. You know, I wasn't going to get potatoes, but I think I will now that I'm looking at them. So, changed my mind. You know, one of the best things about a farmer's market is you're getting the food straight from the farm right to the market. It's not being transported across the country from heaven knows where. It's an amazing, amazing difference. Just terrific. It's been about 8 or 9 minutes, and most of the water, as you can see, is absorbed. So now what I'm going to do is add in my 4 cups of soy milk, but just hold back on a little bit of milk because we're going to make a cornstarch mixture afterwards. So I say that I'm going to put in about 3.5 cups. I'm just going to keep a little bit back. Let's see, 1/2 cup. Okay, perfect. Okay. Stir this up. And now we have to bring this to a boil and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes. My rice and my milk has just come to a low boil. Now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of organic sugar. Just blend that in and let it continue to simmer. Keep your eye on it though, because this can stick and burn. I tasted my rice, which is what you need to do, and made sure that the rice is tender. This is not a time where you want chewy rice. It's just so much better when it's nice and tender. So this rice now is ready to have all the flavorings added into it. This recipe traditionally, before I modified it, called for 3/4 cup of heavy cream and the rest of the milk was whole milk. There was also egg yolk in here. So, you know, this is a way healthier version. And so what we're going to need to do, which you have to do with most puddings anyway, is we're going to have to add a bit of a binder so we can get that thicker consistency. You can eat it like this. Some people do eat rice pudding very sort of thin like this. And they just add all their spices and ingredients and bowl it up. But what I want to do is just get a little bit thicker. So I'm going to take 1/2 cup of soy milk, and I've got about I'd say it's a good heaping tablespoon of cornstarch. And what I'm going to do is dissolve that in the soy milk. And I've got, as you notice, I've got my rice pudding off the heat right now. It's pretty hot, so this is going to be fine. Doesn't need to cook anymore. All right, so I've got my one tablespoon of cornstarch in my 1/2 cup of soy milk, and I'm going to add that in. Now, because some days it works out differently than other days, what I've done is I've reserved another 1/2 cup of the soy milk in the event that this, because it's happened to me, this binds up a little bit more than I like, and then I'll just add some back in. So you may use that or you may not. And as this cools, it's going to get a little bit firmer. Now I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, pure vanilla. Stir that in. And 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom. Cardamom pods are traditionally used in Indian rice puddings. I really like the flavor that it gives this pudding. And you can cut back on that again if you desire, or you can leave it out. Okay, now I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You have to have the salt to bring out the sweetness. So that's it. Right now this pudding is done. What you want to do is let it rest, and it'll be perfect in about 1/2 hour. I'm not a big dessert eater, but I got to tell you, I love this rice pudding. And the thing that's so wonderful about this rice pudding is you can have it for breakfast with some granola and fresh fruit on top. You can have it for dessert after a meal. You can have it as a snack during the day. It's just so creamy and delicious. I can't tell you. I do love it.